Welcome to today's episode of Testing the Experience. This video is for those of you that are spending the time, you're spending the money to get the traffic to your site, but then you're just not seeing the return from it. So I'm here with our founder and CEO of Experiment Zone, AJ Davis, and we're going to talk about a few test examples. But first, AJ, let's cover real quick why we test.
Yeah, over the years, we've seen time and time again that the things that we expect to have a big impact or the things that we expect to have a small impact can really surprise us. So what we find is that by testing things, we can be really clear on what's going to impact and really impact customer behavior and ultimately the signups or that conversion. We see examples of tests where just an individual test might lift something a few percentage points here and there. And other times we'll see a 10, 15, 20% global increase. So by testing it, we know it works. We learn about our customers.
All right. And what products are we going to look at today?
Today, we're really going to focus in on companies that are providing online learning platforms.
All right, let's dive right into it and understand how the customer thinks and what these sites should really be focusing on to make sure that they're communicating with the customer. So what's the first thing that these sites need to look at?
Yeah, these sites really need to communicate to their prospective customers, what is the content that's offered here? What am I going to learn? What kind of skills can I acquire by signing up for an account here? So we'll look at a few examples of that today. So here we have a huge search bar. So there's an expectation implied here that and there's actually two search bars because in the homepage hero, we also see what do you want to learn? So in this case, this is really appealing to someone who knows what they want to learn and to search for something in particular. Clearly, they have hundreds of thousands of courses available, very prominently displayed under the hero, but there are not a lot of examples given until you get further down the page. So an opportunity here would be to give some examples of categories earlier on the list or to talk about some recent skills or new things that have been added. Further down the page, though, we do see some categories that are shown, so these top categories. And I would love to test out just switching these top categories with those specific courses, because it may be in this case that people have a general sense of what kinds of thing they want to learn, but they're not quite ready to pick a specific course. And if we look at another example, this is on the other extreme, just a very, very simple page from Skillshare. They're talking about creativity here. It gives you kind of a sense of the types of courses they may offer. And they're also really heavily depending on these background images to convey it. Now, we're not seeing anything really showing from below the fold. So as we scroll down, we do discover that there's more on this page. So a very basic task that I'd like them to explore is just shortening that hero image so that customers can really see all the stuff that's below the fold that's really going to more clearly communicate the types of courses and learning available here.
Okay, so making sure that they convey what content is offered is the first thing. And then what's another thing that these sites should think about?
It's a pretty competitive space. So people are going to want to know, does this really work? What's the social proof of using this particular company to learn and acquire these skills? And so, what's the payoff? How long does this take? What did people think about the experience of it? So let's look at a couple of examples on that with that lens in mind. So with Memrise, with this French course, they're really laying out how this is going to work. Here are the steps and stages to getting the information and really learning French. But there's not a lot here that's telling you this is why it works or how it works. They do have a sentence that's hidden. So in that first section, in the second paragraph, it says, join millions of people already learning for free here. That's pretty hidden. And so I'd like for them to really increase the prominence of that, whether it's highlighting that number in some way with some sort of visual icon, or perhaps actually showcasing a specific star rating or number of reviews that people have left. So people really understand the social backing that's available for this product.
All right, and let's look at another site and how they do it.
And on the flip side here, we're seeing very clearly the 4.5 reviews, over 100,000 ratings, and lots of students. So 4 times that in number of students. These are great data points. It is getting a little bit lost here with all that's going on this page. So I'd love for them to experiment with simplifying some of this other content. Potentially, these action items like wish list, share, gift this course. I'd love for them to explore even minimizing some of those calls to action in the test to see if by just drawing attention to those ratings, they get more people to ultimately add to cart and buy.
All right, so that's social proof and making sure that they have that. And then what's the next thing that these sites should consider?
We really need to understand, how am I going to use this? Like, what does it look like for me to acquire the skills through this site? Do I need to log into the website? Are there other platforms I can use? Can I access it on my mobile device? And what tools are needed? Is there a schedule to the classes, or is it something that's asynchronous? So we'll look at a couple of the sign-up flows to see how much information is provided. So here, it's a very, very simple sign-up flow and start learning. I don't have a lot of context about how it's going to work. So it's possible that that might be on the homepage or it might be somewhere else. But this is the type of information we might need right before making a decision, is knowing, how am I going to use this? How easy it is to access from anywhere, that type of information. So adding a couple of value propositions around that would be really helpful, potentially on a sign-up page like this.
And one more sign-up page.
And similar feedback here. We see there's like a subscribe, give membership, limited offer here. We don't really even know what site we're on when we get to this sign up flow, because we don't even have the brand name or some information about the courses or the learning here. So I think there's really an opportunity to highlight the value propositions. What's going to happen after I get an account? Am I, getting a membership at this stage, or is that sort of the next step? So playing around with the messaging of value propositions by sign-up calls to action will be really impactful to conversion once you get it right. And that's what testing will tell us.
Okay, so conveying that information is the last one, but there are other things that these sites can do to improve their conversion, right, AJ?
Absolutely. It's really about getting an experimentation mindset. And so testing anything that could impact customer behavior that would lead or prohibit them from converting and signing up for the service. So this is something we help teams with time and again, to really make experimentation the driving force for their customers, so that we're really learning about their customers, learning what works, learning what doesn't. And by being very thoughtful in this, our customers get a 10x or greater ROI from working with us.
Yeah, that's a really satisfying ROI to give our customers. Well, thank you, AJ, for walking us through all of those. Those are really helpful. If you are looking to increase the revenue on your site, increase your conversion, you can visit experimentzone.com and get your free conversion report card. It's 3 conversion insights that can really put some immediate fixes into your site. The link will be in the comments. And of course, please subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the upcoming Testing the Experience videos.